How do we feel about dick jokes?
Feel pretty good.
Okay.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hotline Hangout. My name is Shane, and here's my co-host, my buddy, my pal.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Stephen Murphy. Hey.
Oh, you're not supposed to tell your last name.
Oh, shit. Edit that
whatever. All right. Well, it's good to be back. Kind of crazy. A week ago, we had no idea what we were doing, and it's a week later, and now we have still no idea what the fuck we're doing. But now we have about $15,000 worth of equipment surrounding us,
And that's what counts.
That's what counts. Yeah, the gear makes us better. So yeah, I guess you want to just like pick up where we left off last time. We were talking about Game of Thrones.
Oh, yes. Left off from, what is it, episode 5, episode 6 now, the final of the saga, the finale. So, I guess jump right into it. Like, honestly,
it was fucking terrible.
I was going to say, what do you expect of this whole
It was absolute garbage. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I was pretty thrown off by the whole episode, but the part where they talked about democracy and then they laughed about it.
Oh my god, yeah, and then how she's just like, we're going to take ownership.
It was so cringe. It was so cringe. Why don't we let the people vote? And it's like, democracy, what? Hey, did you see the water bottle in the episode?
Oh,
or
yeah,
multiple water bottles in the episode?
Well, look, I only caught the one with behind like Sam Welly.
Yeah.
And it was like right behind his leg or whatever. And it's just like a lot of people are just kind of saying like, why wouldn't he just kind of like kick it to the side or nudge? Because they were just on the the little stage, the podium that they were sitting on.
Yeah.
They could have just actually just kicked it and no one would have noticed anything. But a lot of people
it's barely noticeable anyways.
Yeah, like I remember it was like TMZ or something like that just made the instant flash like 2 hours after. It's like, oh, they did it again. They screwed up.
Yeah.
But even with it, I guess I don't know, like a lot of people have like their own conspiracy theories behind that now, basically talking about, do you think it was a kind of like a money type grab with the situation, what they did with the Starbucks cup as well?
I thought the Starbucks cup was a money grab, but you know, that's my background, right? Like communications, and you know, nothing happens like that on accident. It was totally a money grab. Well, Starbucks got free advertising.
Well, I was gonna say,
or they paid for it.
Even though it was free advertisement itself, I believe HBO kind of redacted and kind of undid. Like they went back to the actual copies and they were trying to like scribble it out and like Photoshop it out or whatever.
Well, yeah, but once it happens on the internet, it's on the internet forever.
It's for life.
Yeah,
for life.
Just like this podcast. Dear God.
Just zoom in on our face, just plummeted, just like.
I'm actually going to do that.
Freeze frame.
Yeah, but yeah, you know, otherwise, like the episode was pretty.
Pretty.
Yeah, it looked good.
Cool.
Like if you turn the volume off,
well, I was gonna say
it looks like a fantasy like.
Well, that's what the whole theory is too. Like my favorite part is when like Sam's talking about like he's doing the interviews and everything too. They're like, "Oh, after all of this, like you're still fat," and he's like, "Guys, it's a fantasy. Like you have dragons roaming the world, like flying around. You have mystical creatures, undead, like zombies coming back to life, and your main concern is I'm fat still."
He lost a little bit of weight from the
oh my god,
start.
Yeah. Because in the show he's still pretty chunky, heavy loving. Nothing wrong with that, but you know he's still a little bit chubbier. But after everything was done and over with, like he actually was doing all these other interviews and everything. He actually lost quite a bit, man. Good for him. Proud of him.
Yeah, good job. You know, if that's what he wants.
Yeah. Well,
looking fine.
Well, yeah, because I guess we're getting a little bit sidetracked of actually talking about the main episode. Oh, one thing that really stood out to me.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah, like you don't have like a definitive point of what you can really kind of go down to it. Like it's just a parade of just a pure mess is what I kind of thought it was, because it was all over the place. Like I had so many like unanswered questions.
It made more questions. Like it didn't finish very well.
Oh my god, no. Even George R. R. Martin had to come out and say like, you know, they tried their best, they did this, they did that.
They fucked it up. That's what he should have said. That's what he meant.
He could have just basically been polite and be like, they fucked up.
Yeah, he killed how many people, and you know he was too shy to tell HBO that they fucked it up.
Yeah, well, it's like I got paid at the end of the day. Whatever.
Well, one question that I had, so basically, Grey Worm was like, "No, you can't talk," and then Tyrion goes on to, you know, name Bran the king. Oh, yeah. And it's like, well, you just told him no, and now everybody agrees with him. Like, so, your authority is useless here. What is your point right now? Like, what are you here for? And then he's like, Jon is a prisoner. He killed blah, blah, blah. And, you know, then they just give out King's Landing. So Jon is going to the north or whatever, and then Tyrion is the hand of the king. Everything is restored. Yeah. And Grey Worm was the only opposition at that point, and then he's just leaving. So John doesn't have to leave now. Everybody can stay here.
Because I think like the premise of it, even though it wasn't really specified or talked about, was that if he were to have not got some sort of punishment, the Unsullied and the Dothrakis would have most likely just stayed in the territory in King's Landing and just kind of claim it as own. Because like nobody else really had an army to even go against them at all. Because like they just plummeted a whole city. They showed everybody what they're capable of.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that's pretty much it. So I think they had to kind of appease to his character to say like, oh, we're actually going to go ahead and do something, and we're going to give him some sort of harsh punishment, even though that was like his best friend throughout the series. And it was like, okay, cool. Like,
I guess
this is fine. But I don't know. Like, it kind of felt, I don't know. Like, I had this type of like remorse or whatever towards him.
Grey Worm?
No, like towards like John. Because like he started, this is all where it started. And like he's ending up the entire series back at where he started with nothing. And like, well, I guess just like a bastard's name, and that's essentially it.
And like, see what bugs me about this was I've been watching the show for like 10 years, right?
Yeah.
I watched the show forever, and the first disappointment was like the Night King. I was like, okay, we're gonna get some conclusion with the Night King, and then that didn't happen.
Like the disappointment talking about how he died, or the character based upon, and like they
just
left so much information out.
They just like rushed it, basically, like just like one little prick, one episode, and then it's done. And then like they finished the series. They ruined John like being a Targaryen. They ruined their romance. Like nothing feel like
nothing.
It's just like the end of the day, and it's done.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like they had their contracts and everything they had to kind of commute with, and they had their own staff and everything else that they had to kind of rush everything, like productions, even though they were like, oh, this took like 2 years to develop. I'm like, man, like it didn't feel like it at all. Because even George R. R. Martin made that quote. He was like talking about, they had only a certain limited amount of time to actually put into it versus as, let's say, my books. I can't remember the name of it, but I know it's like something about spring or something like that for like number 7 and just
number six. Yeah.
And then after he was talking about like I have all the time in the world as long as I have breath, and then so from there he's saying like there's a little bit of difference between producing some sort of television popularity TV show itself versus as me writing my books and trying to actually have some sort of piece of entertainment to kind of give people just of what they're looking for. But I don't know. It's open for interpretation, if anything.
I guess. I like. That's exactly right. It is open for interpretation, and I'm really hoping to read the book soon because I want to know how it really ends, man. Like this is just nuts.
Because it's the same concept, like as well. Like he was talking about how he was even going through how much characters they kind of didn't like apply into the actual theory. That he's kind of shocked of how much people they kind of left out just for them to have a certain amount of casting with it. But I guess too, like you got to take a consideration of the production value, how much money they have allowed to throw around.
Did you know that there's another episode this Sunday? There's so it's like a behind the scenes alternative episode, but apparently there's an alternative ending that they're gonna show.
No.
And like apparently what's his name? The blonde dude who like loved Danny but didn't get to.
Oh yeah, well I know. Who
I can't remember anybody's name.
Yeah, I know.
I'm terrible with the names. Yeah. Whatever. But anyways, apparently he wasn't supposed to die in the alternative ending, and like that changes the arcs for like the whole rest of the series or the whole rest of the season.
Yeah.
And he ends up like I don't know. But it's apparently that's on Sunday.
Well, because like I just figured it was just gonna kind of be like a behind the scenes type situation. I didn't really know they were actually elaborating and telling a bit more of a story.
It's behind the scenes, but they're also gonna tell what they were planning on doing. Watch it be like way better than what actually happened, and it's like
and they just completely took like a left turn on
choose your own adventure, and they went down the wrong path.
Oh my god, like that Black Mirror movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, did you watch that on Netflix? That was dope. Man, so there's like a spreadsheet. There's like a flow chart that like gives you all the alternative options for that movie.
Someone actually made a walkthrough?
Yeah, a walkthrough to like get through it. But like it ruins it because. Yeah. But there are some like if you go through this one part like 10 times, you'll get a different section or whatever. And like I just ended up dying a million times and I gave up.
Because you want to see like the multiple endings or whatever they have.
Yeah, because you can only watch through it so many times.
Like, before they just kind of give you the little game over scene or you're done. Yeah.
That was cool. That was really neat.
But yeah. but I don't know. Even for this episode too, like it felt cheated. Like it felt like they were more or less about aesthetics and characteristics of the prop value in the show and everything too. It's just like they weren't really focused on like the actual storyline or the arc or the actual conversation or the the development of the characters itself. It was just a complete mess.
Okay, so you know how like porn has a reputation for like bad acting, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so game and like not that like it reminded me of a porn or whatever, but like Game of Thrones was like a really good porno acting, right? Like that's how low it was, but it was like on the better end.
My God.
You know what I mean? Like it was so forced.
Yeah.
Like Tyrion was, or like, okay, so the one of the most forced parts that I can think of just off the top of my head was remember when Tyrion was like, Bran, do you accept the king position or whatever? And he's like, what do you think I came here for? Or whatever.
God, yeah.
That was so awkward.
Dude,
It looked like somebody was like feeding him his lines. He had like a cue card in front of him off screen.
That's
like,
funny.
oh man.
I guess even with like the background story about that as well, like he was completely just off put because like he thought him getting the actual throne at the end of the series was just like a unplanned joke by the directors because they thought like he just made like some sort of like BS segment script for him and like he gave the remainder of the cast the same type of situation where it's just like,
wow.
oh, you know,
They
joke
didn't
is on
tell
you.
him. Yeah, they didn't tell him it was like the real one.
Yeah,
I heard that.
Yeah, until like the final last like scene he was
Damn,
actually
that's
shooting.
why the episode was so expensive. They should have just filmed it once with the right parts and and put the rest of the money back into the script.
the most of the money was spent just dicking around with the cast for them just giving them
Oh my God.
bullshit.
Yeah, I actually read about the guy who does the Dothraki language. It's like a real language this dude made up, and he what do you do? Yeah, so they fed him like a bunch of fake lines. Like there were barely any Dothraki lines anyways, and this guy's got like 10 pages to translate, and it's just all a bunch of nonsense.
Just clicks and noises.
Yeah.
Well, because like even like I wonder if like he actually has like some sort of like linguistic background itself, because like you got to take in consideration of like the vocalized like the clicks, the noises, the grunts, and everything for per specific wording. Like damn, that's,
I wonder if that guy does like all the languages for the show, like the Valerian and whatever, like all the other languages.
Yeah, maybe.
That's cool. What a nerd.
We just ended with a what a nerd.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last episode. Oh, we're actually sitting a little bit higher than I thought. We're sitting at 4.3.
Oh shit! Thank goodness.
So, what would you actually?
Somebody liked it.
Well, because like even then, like there's like so many different plot holes, twists, and everything with it too. Like the main thing, the first thing that started off was the Unsullied and the Dothrakis. How the hell did they get like plus 100,000 more like?
Oh yeah.
Like soldiers.
I don't think they got plussed. It's just that everybody else who was against them died because Danny burned them all.
Well, because like and they immediately converted people right then and there as well. Because like with the Dothraki army, when they had them all lined up for like the aesthetics for like the final charade for Danny when she was giving her speech, like there was just like thousands of them just all lined up, and like where did everyone come from? Like there wasn't this many when.
From what I read, they still had like 20,000 men left, right?
Well, 20,000
when they went to King's Landing, and like they didn't even get attacked at King's Landing. They just like walked right in, basically. Well, yeah, because it just was handed to them. They didn't have to fight or anything.
Well, because even then, but also like the Dothrakis and everything too. Like a majority of them got plummeted right off the bat of when they're fighting the Night King.
Well, yeah, but this is just what we see, though, right? Like I don't know. They didn't like confirm numbers or anything. So I'm not like
I don't know because that could have been.
But like it's still
I don't know. That could have been potentially something that I thought was rather of interest. Then goes the whole scene. Then she has her moment with John and Danny alone, of course.
And that's how she went too. Imagine how she must have felt about that. I understand now why all of the characters are like, when they gave that interview, they were like, "Oh, it's the best," because like they knew what happened, right?
Yeah, and then they're like, awkwardly. Yeah.
Oh, my favorite was Tyrion's. He was like, "They are the best writers in history."
Period.
Absolutely, it is a good season. Thank you.
Just very monolithic and just monotone.
It was pretty fun. Yeah, I can't believe
we exhausted this. We
we're beating a dead horse at the moment.
It was terrible. Nobody really enjoyed it. Too much people, I guess. I speak for majority.
I speak for the majority of people.
It was terrible.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that wraps up Game of Thrones. And now let's talk about something else. Man, I love that thing. I don't want to overuse it, but I'm gonna try not to.
Okay, have you ever heard of Jim Hubble and his miracle cure?
Oh yeah, I heard of it. You texted me about it the other day.
So basically, it's just kind of like I guess he's a pastor of some sort of miracle of the Church of Healing. The thing that really struck me off is right
The
at the
Miracle
beginning.
Church of Healing. That's what struck me off.
That's well, like that alone, and like kind of like his upbringing, his past, and everything too. Because apparently he spent like 30+ years, in the Church of Scientology, and we all know that good stuff always happens when that happens. So, anyways, with that being said, apparently he broke off with the Church of Scientology, which I guess is like next to a rare thing to do, and so he kind of went on a hiatus for a little while. He went traveling.
Whenever you leave one of those churches, especially like the Mormon Church and the Church of Scientology, like there's like repercussions. Like you don't just like stop going.
Yeah.
You got
because like also too
sign
like
up for like a lifetime membership, cancel.
That's kind of what it is, and like you get like constantly harassed by the actual staffing and everything too, where they paid their own people to kind of come out and just in a sense like harass you just from all the other stories that were kind of been said about the church alone. And from there it makes sense then it'll come why he would have like in a sense like fled to South America. So he left the Church of Scientology, he went to South America, then from there I guess it was roughly around 1996, I believe they said in the article. They're talking about how he developed and founded this miracle cure, which ideally it's like a concoction of 3 different types of substance that he's actually using. So he calls it his MMS, which is the miracle mineral solution, or a supplement, whatever you want to call it. But ideally, it has its own little name. But it's like a solution base. So from there, he kind of has like this little mixture that he has, which is DMSO, which is ideal in pharmacology to help inflammation. Basically, it's kind of like a carrier substance to allow it to kind of transmit throughout the body. Then he uses chloride. Oh, what was it? In a sense, it's basically like a lesser form of a chloride substance itself, and then ideally he mixes it with like a citrus acid. And when he actually mixes this up, it turns into kind of like a lower grade bleach, like industrial bleach. And they're injecting this, they're drinking it. They're injecting, they're drinking it. Well, because ideally it just needs transmission to inside the human body.
Oh wow.
So I guess the injectable route itself, it's like a direct feed right into the liver and everything too. Because what it's supposed to do, it's supposed to like kind of cleanse and remove any type of poisons or any type of bacteria or fungus or whatever they got going on in their body. Because apparently he's calling it like the cure to everything.
Oh wow.
He has believed that
people are dumb. Here, drink this medical grade bleach.
Like my God, like it gets much worse with it.
I thought the problem with it was that didn't he put up a video and like millions of people saw it and like it never got taken down.
It was like I think they said like quoted up to 3 million plus.
Oh man.
So even with that being said, he showing them how to make this concoction itself and the way that he's transmitting and making it. It's not so much like, oh, drink a cup of bleach or anything like that. It's just like add a few drops of this, add a few drops of this. But ideally, it's still such a low grade of bleach that when you consume it, people are having like these, like I guess how he originally came up with it, like because he had like kind of like a mouth sore or something like that, or abscess in his mouth, and so he started drinking. Like it didn't say if he just kind of like swabbed it around, but he was just saying that he just drank it. So he did that for I guess about like 2-3 weeks or whatever, and then finally after 6 different types of treatment of that same solution, he's like, oh, it's a miracle, it's gone. And then he started testing this on a bunch of people in like South America.
Oh man.
Trying to prove his theory, and he's like, oh, it can cure AIDS, it can cure malaria, it can cure.
These people need to like how do these people get like such big megaphones?
And like like that's just it. It's like I guess like the crazier you get, the louder you are.
Yeah, we should do something crazy. We need more subscribers.
Well, I was gonna say, we need some followers first. But even with that being said, like apparently it's even like outlawed as of right now, it's outlawed in Canada. You can't sell it. If you sell it, some guy actually got busted for it. He got I think like 4 or 6 years or something like that.
Damn.
And also in Ireland as of right now.
Do they smoke it? Like maybe it. I don't know.
I wonder if
just
you
like
can
lower
turn it
grade
into like
crack.
You could. I don't even know. Like because you would have to like steam it or something like that, and just kind of like crystallize it first before you can smoke it, maybe. But there's like
steam
I
your
guess
broccoli with it. Eat it up.
But so anyways, with that being said, it has multiple routes of entries, whether it's like injection, whether you're making it into like a solution, just drinking
Put it
it
in your butt,
or Yeah, that's actually one of the feasible options people are making.
Oh,
They're
man.
making suppositories with them,
Oh, dear
and
God.
but it gets a lot darker than that because it's like the people who they do it onto the suppository form with. Usually, those are coming from like the autistic people as well,
Oh man.
and that's kind of where it takes a turn too.
Oh
where-
yeah. Yeah. Everybody's trying to cure autism.
and that's like the big thing too. So it started becoming like such a fad too, when the whole anti-vaxxers and everything come through, because like ideally they're next to zero impervious to like any type of disease in itself, just because it's like, oh, this is going to be what's causing autism in the first place, so I'm not going to vaccinate my children. And from there, that's kind of where they jump on that I don't want to say bandwagon, but this possibility of treatment. And like it's a lot of eager people too who actually want
yeah.
to jump
It's like,
onto
hey, we
that.
have a treatment already.
And
It's
like-
no, I don't like that one.
It doesn't
Give me some bleach.
it doesn't fit my quota. But yeah, because even with that being said, like that's kind of where the treatment and everything too are coming from this, and they're just like doing a series of, I guess, like trial tribulation type situations to a bunch of kids with autism. They're like, oh, we have like 500 known cures that
Oh,
we
man.
have, that people have been doing this. And so a bunch of people kept have to go on like undercover, like bunch of moms and whatever. They were like hired by like the authorities to hop into these Facebook groups with all these other women just to say like, oh, like I'm looking for this cure. Who can help me make concoctions and solutions and stuff like that? Just so they can kind of like call these people out, or who's trying to send this kind of non-viable FDA approved
Just like a
medication.
group of moms in there, and one of them's like, I might know a guy.
Yeah, like that's exactly it. Like, oh, you got to meet Carl down, I don't know, Chicken Shack. He's in the Black
Chicken
Band.
Shack?
I don't know, whatever.
Damn.
Um,
I wonder how much does it cost? Did you see a price on there? Like, how much are they paying for the bleach?
it's actually very inexpensive.
Oh.
To
If I was
make
going to buy some bleach and I walked by a Chicken Shack,
yeah,
I'd probably stop at
well,
the
I was
Chicken
gonna say,
Shack.
well, yeah, exactly. You spend your
Yeah.
money there, but no,
Salt and
it
pepper.
ranges between like $15 to like $21, like $26, I believe.
Oh,
like
dang. That's a steal.
USDs.
How much does a vaccination? How much does a vaccination cost in the
Oh, a
States?
vaccination at least is probably like $50. Like $50.
$50?
Yeah, man. Like that's how much like vaccinations like here.
Yeah, maybe it
cost.
was like a money thing. Maybe
Well-
the whole anti-vaxxer movement started
Yeah.
because like it was expensive.
Yeah, probably. Just money costs. And that's what they're
Well-
saying. It's like, oh, Big Pharma doesn't want you to know about this, but hush hush. So anyways, he kind of had this whole big tangent about making this miracle cure. And like the thing was that there are still people today like who are doing what are they called? They're doing like, I don't want to say recruitments, but basically they're overseas. They're, you know, praising the Lord and praising their beliefs and everything too, and they're
Oh,
kind
boy.
of still implementing this on hundreds of thousands of individuals as well. It's like, oh, you know, this is going to cure. You got malaria? Hey, drink some of this. Have this like 6 times, 8 times a day. And voila, you're cured. But as far as the kind of like deaths and everything go, I guess they said they have 2 confirmed deaths that they definitively result that it was the MMS. I don't want to say like it's overdose. It's basically internal bleeding.
Oh shit!
'Cause,
Well,
like,
yeah, if you eat enough bleach,
Well, because what
something's gonna happen.
what essentially bleach does within the system itself, it kind of lowers your BP rate overall.
Mhm.
So, and it more or less it severely dehydrates you.
Mhm.
So with that being said, like you're just willy nilly having like shots and shots of bleach.
I can't believe people would just like willingly do this.
But I guess that's where it comes down to. Like, is it that impractical that, you know, like my life is suffering, my child has autism, I want to find a cure, and someone presents this to me with like, you know, a $26 amount like of treatment solution, and it
Yeah, I
has like
guess.
a minimal
I
cure
guess
for
that makes
it.
sense.
I don't know. Like it's like, I guess at the point of desperation in itself.
Still kind of city. Something I wanted to talk about actually, and it's kind of in the same
Same kind
lung. Oh man, I hope this is a pun. So in Hawaii, there was a confirmation that there are 3 recent cases of rat lungworm disease. And where it started was because a tourist ate a slug on a dare.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and so I believe it like affects the lungs. Or no, wait, did I say lungworm?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Well, yeah, obviously it affects the lungs. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm an idiot.
So
Whatever.
wait. But before you continue on, this worm itself, is it just kind of like something like let's say like ringworm, where it's
It's
just
like a parasite. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a parasite. And yeah, three tourists contracted this. And it
Yeah.
started with like a dare to eat a slug.
Okay.
I don't know how the other 2 got it, but one of them ate a slug. So that's gross. Like,
Oh.
would you ever eat a slug?
Oh,
Like just on a
no,
dare? I don't
no.
even like what's it called? Escargot.
Escargot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hell no.
But I think I might have actually heard about this one where this kid, it's like he didn't like die immediately. It was that it developed inside of his body, and little by little it starts shutting down like his entire like central nervous system.
Oh wow.
And so like he became like a paraplegic, and then he became like a quadriplegic, and like little by little, then eventually he did like it took his life just because his body couldn't sustain from this bacteria that he gained, or parasite. It's like I'm not even sure what exactly did, but I know exactly it kind of, well, it's kind of oxymoron what I literally just said, but either way, it started attacking like his central nervous system and just slowly decaying, like corroding and just like shutting him down basically. And so they didn't catch it in time apparently from what it was, because like I remember he was like a teenager or something like that, like he was just about to start college.
Oh, way to go.
And like his friends just like, oh, I dare
Wait,
you.
did he eat a slug?
Yeah, he ate the slug.
Yeah.
And then like he just kind of like consumed it, and like he thought it was all funny. Then he kind of had started like weird like stomach and chest pains. And so
it says that it generally affects the brain and spinal cord.
Yeah,
like
central nervous,
that's what a slug does to you. It messes up your brain and spinal cord.
Well, it's not so much the slug itself.
No, it is. It says most people contract the disease by accidentally ingesting an infected snail or slug.
Well, yeah,
like that's how people get it.
Well, I was gonna say it's like
there's like one way to get it. Well, eat a slug.
Yeah, well, I guess it's kind of like in a sense like the bubonic plague. Like, you know, the rats carried like parasites on them. Or not parasites, but flea that had the parasites on it.
It just doesn't sound like a good idea.
Yeah, it just doesn't sound. Well, I don't know. Like, did you ever hear of Vegemite?
Vegemite?
Like, that just isn't good at all. It's just like you're tasting like.
Hey. We don't want to exclude
our Australian viewers.
Demographics. Yeah, hey. Hello from Canada if you're listening in Australia.
Hey.
We love Vegemite.
But even still, it's like
but it's terrible.
you're eating like salty sand. Is
what really?
It's I don't know. Like, it's just not for me apparently. But it's like sand that has a lot of salt on it.
Really?
And that's it. Yeah.
Well, whatever.
I don't know. It's not me. It's not for me.
You know, I put peanut butter on my toast, but what you do with your toast, not my concern.
No, I just put toast on toast.
What was salty toast?
That explains everything.
Yeah. Man butter.
Oh God. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like it's a whole nother story, I guess. Like with because like why would you see like foreign random insects and bugs if it's not like a dire situation?
This was an adult too. Like when you're a kid, sure.
Was it an adult? I thought he was.
Oh yeah, no,
like...
they're adults.
Okay.
These are 3 adults.
I don't know.
On a dare. They must have been really drunk. Like, you know, if I was in Hawaii and I was really drunk, I still wouldn't eat a slug. But you know,
I've never been to Hawaii
I've never eaten a slug.
Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii.
Was it like Honolulu? Any?
Oh, I don't know.
Specifics.
There were 3 of them on Hawaii, one of the islands.
Oh, I don't know. Like it's really weird. Like I don't
Rat Lungworm would be a great name for a rock band.
But even coming from I don't know, like who would come down to the conclusion of like, say, this is just fun times, having great times.
I don't know, man. Imagine how like he probably did it for some money too, right?
You
like
think so?
I'm
like,
assuming
like
it's a guy.
Or is just kind of obviously it was a guy.
I'll take a slug of that. But, yeah. Oh man, that's nuts though. Yeah, I would never do it. Call me a wuss. But
call me what you will. But
you know,
yeah.
Let's talk in 6 months when you have brain and spinal injuries.
Well,
oh man, that's gross. Just grosses me out thinking about it.
Well, speaking of better things to come, have you heard about the
better things to come?
Yeah,
good one.
It's going to transition nicely.
Oh shit!
Did you hear about the petition about getting Danny DeVito to do Wolverine as the next reboot?
Oh yeah. I'm totally down for that. Like I want to see, like just kind of like an ugly duckling rise. I want to see Danny DeVito turn into a swan.
Whoa! Ugly duckling? Excuse me.
Danny DeVito.
He's already a beautiful swan.
Oh yes.
He's a beautiful man. No, yeah. But honestly, like,
wasn't he the Penguin in Batman?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Tim
okay. No, he's great. Yeah, no. Danny DeVito
played the hell out of that role.
Absolutely. Let him be.
Because like have you ever watched like Sunny in Philadelphia?
Oh yeah.
If he takes that character and just kind of transmission into like Wolverine, like a muscular, shorter version of that.
I'd like to see Danny DeVito with like a makeup on 6-pack. Or a real 6-pack, whatever you want to do. Oh my God, I don't think he's built for that.
You should see like the actual memes and everything too, and it's like they took like his character from like Sunny from Philadelphia. Wow, it's always Sunny in Philly, and how he has like his autonomous like wife beater shirt, like that little white shirt or whatever he wears, and like his underwear, and like they like plastered like the claws on him, and like had his hair all spiked up and everything too. It's legit the best. But
Yeah, no, I'd be down to see a movie.
yeah,
I
yes.
haven't. What was the last movie Danny DeVito was in? Like, I haven't seen Danny DeVito in a while. His name comes up all the time.
Yeah.
I think the last time I saw Danny DeVito was when he was like a cardboard cutout in a PewDiePie video.
Oh yeah, the well, wasn't that like a whole prom segment or something like that?
I
Some
have
kid
no
was actually
idea.
taking it to.
I have no idea.
Well, because
Danny DeVito.
I know
prom.
recently there's like that petition that I think it got at least over. Last time I checked, they're trying to strive for about 30,000 signatures, and it was
For
sitting
what?
at 26 to get him to be the next Wolverine.
Oh shit, man, you are all about petitions.
Oh my
you
god,
just like
yeah.
surfpetitions.org.
That's
like,
just
what
my thing. I'm sitting at work
he's
just
like,
going through
what do
petitions.
people want to happen? So, you know, sometimes you go on those websites and you see like petitions that are like make something like really drastic happen for 5,000 signatures, and it's like it's really easy to get a bunch of people on the internet to do something stupid for 5,000 signatures.
He already got like Hugh Jackman's like blessing to actually do it. So like,
why does Hugh Jackman get a say?
well, because he was the Wolverine, he was Logan.
Yeah.
Because like just everything was good about him. The only downside about him, regardless of
I
how
don't think
well
they could recast him.
well
He was so good.
well is the only downside about how well he played the role was that he was just too damn tall.
Was
like,
he?
Yeah, he was like 6'2" or something like that in real life.
Oh, who cares?
Well, what
That's
do you
what
mean? Who
women
cares? No,
Swipe left.
I don't care. It's fit to the character role. We got to get a 5'3",
Wait, oh,
5'3" man.
Seriously? Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's-
totally forgot about that.
Yeah, Wolverine's only 5'3",
Oh,
and like I
dang.
think Danny DeVito's rocking in and boot. Wow, did you just hear that? A boot.
Oh, dang.
Oh my god.
Wow.
So, anyways, with that,
That's a slip.
whoops. Yeah, he's only about 4'10".
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
See,
in
no,
real-
he
yeah.
needs to be taller. You can get him some boots, though.
Yeah, you can get him like a little
A boot?
a box to stand on. or something.
Yeah, just get him a box to stand in. Or you can just, like, crop him out and zoom in. Like, whatever works.
No. Just want to see him in like the little latex suit that they have to give him, like the
Ooh, yeah, no,
yellow
hey, you know what?
and-
Fuck
yellow and black.
Wolverine. Let's do Catwoman.
Who's gonna be Catwoman?
Danny DeVito.
Get out of here.
Oh, who did it? Anne Hathaway was Catwoman, right?
Was she like one of them?
Oh, Anne Hathaway
she
was the
played
best Catwoman.
Was it Anne Hathaway in the Christian Bale one?
Anne Hathaway and everything, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, I think that was her.
That was like the best movie.
Maybe.
Anne Hathaway pops on the screen. I'm in the theater
Yeah.
with like whoever I was seeing that movie with. Anne Hathaway pops on the screen,
Mm-hmm.
just like latex one piece suit. You know, I was holding the popcorn, so it was all right.
Just awkward when my parents are grabbing it.
Oh yeah, right in between mom and dad when I was like almost 25 years old, probably.
But
oh boy, that took a dark turn.
but yeah. So like, first of all, I didn't even like. Is this just something that came out of the blue, like the left ballpark at all with it, like a reboot, or is that definitive results
I
that
don't
they're
know.
actually going to be doing?
They're
the
always
reboot?
talking about whatever. I kind of just watch
Maybe.
things as they happen.
Maybe. Well, because
Yeah.
like the whole like after Infinity Wars, after all
Oh yeah,
that's
they're
done,
done.
like what are they
gonna
gonna
do?
what are
They're
they
gonna
gonna
be
do? They
broke. They're gonna take their riches and ride off into the sunset and
Well,
buy some yachts.
yeah. Well, I've been still kind of keeping a close eye on the I guess box office sales of all times with the Endgame and
Oh, okay.
Avatar. Like
Has
I guess
it hit yet?
no, not just yet. I think
Is there a petition to make it hit?
no, not yet. I'm gonna make
Start
one if it
petition,
doesn't
I'll
get
sign
one
it.
because like it has 166 million left.
Yeah, it's almost there. I
It's
think.
almost there, man.
Yeah, it's gonna hit it.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna hit because like it's what is it only like on its third and a half week or something
Was
like that.
Avatar even good? Like I remember seeing it, and I was like, "Wow, this
Well-
is a great 3D movie,"
well,
and then I don't remember anymore.
My key thing is I feel like they cheated just because like they were in theaters for like next to like a year.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
after by the time they were about to opt back out into the theaters, who was the director for that? Oh my god,
Christopher Nolan.
was it Chris?
Yeah.
No, it was.
Is that a name I just made up?
Yeah, well, no, because he did the Batman series.
Oh,
Christopher Nolan. I can't remember his damn name.
the 3D guy.
Yeah, 3D guy.
Yeah,
I
okay.
can't remember his
The
name.
3D
but
guy.
whatever.
Everybody
It'll
knows.
come to me
We don't
later.
know. That's all right.
So anyways, he made a remake basically for that. He added like extended cut scenes or
Yeah, I
whatever.
thought there was an Avatar
And
2
then-
coming out, and I was like,
Well,
who
no,
wants that?
there is going to be an Avatar
Game
2.
of Thrones.
But even though with the first one, he kind of made a re-release just because he was like, oh, I added like 30 seconds of additional features, and so they still counted it all as like one movie theater. It was just our one like box
wow.
office sales.
Yeah, that's
so-
stupid.
So like in a sense, like they cheated. It felt like so. Either way,
Oh well.
I'm hoping that Endgame's can still kind of surpass what
Yeah,
the ratings. are
I'm
sitting
sure
at.
Endgame is gonna hit
Yeah,
past. I'm sure it's gonna pass it.
yeah.
Although like it's been about what, like a month, 3 weeks?
Yeah, it was about 3 weeks, about three,
Oh,
three
okay.
and a half
Yeah,
or so
yeah.
right now.
It's only been a couple of
So it
weeks.
still has a little bit of ways to go.
Yeah.
But also too, yeah, because it was the funniest thing too, because even with like the whole case with Danny DeVito as well. Did you hear about when they were trying to get him to do the Detective Pikachu prior to
Oh
Ryan
yeah.
Reynolds?
See that? As soon as I heard that, I didn't think it was a
Well,
joke. I thought it was real, and I was like, "Damn,
Yeah.
that sounds great.
Well, 'cause,
That's what I want."
They were trying to do that prior to the actual movie itself. They actually wanted him to become Detective Pikachu within the video game as well, that they just released for the 3DS. I think that was about maybe a year ago. But yeah, so I don't know. Like, just listen to like the sound clips and bits and everything.
Yeah, Danny
My
DeVito
God,
would have been
it's
a great Pikachu because like, who did it? Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds was great too. But I read. Do you watch Your Movie Sucks?
Your movie sucks. No, I never.
Adam,
heard. Is that like a YouTube thing?
It's a YouTube
Okay.
guy who does reviews, and like, you know, he has like brutally honest reviews, and
Yeah.
like I generally agree with him.
Okay.
And yeah, he did a review of Pikachu, and you know, it really disappointed. Like, I don't even want to go see it.
Well,
now,
because like,
so.
yeah, there's so many great movies coming out right now. You have like Detective Pikachu. You have the
No, it's what isn't a great movie. You have like a bunch
Well,
of great
well, like,
concepts of ideas for
yeah,
movies
yeah,
coming
well,
out,
I'm
and they're all
willing-
failures.
Well, I'm still willing to see it. Like, I'm still gonna watch it just
yeah,
to
I
watch
guess.
it. For
I'll
it.
watch it
But-
when it comes
But
out.
also too, you have
on
that
Netflix.
plus. What about the Aladdin movie that's in theaters now?
See, yeah,
Are you
there's
gonna watch
that.
it?
Yeah, no,
Like,
I'm not gonna watch it.
The live action
I'm not gonna go
adaptation.
see it
Well, why
until
not?
it comes to Netflix.
Get out of here. You don't watch it.
I'm
You're
not gonna
be
pay money to
pulled
go
into it.
see Aladdin. Like, I'm gonna wait for the YMS review. Your movie sucks, and I'm gonna see what he
Well,
thinks.
there's also
Probably
that-
watch it anyways, but it's terrible.
What about like the John Wick? There's still.
Oh
that.
yeah, John Wick.
I still haven't seen that.
I
one.
haven't seen it yet, but I will see that in theaters. I haven't had time, but I'm going to see John Wick.
Because I know there's one last one that I'm just like, God, I gotta see it. Like, doesn't matter. I have to see it. What the hell was it? I can't remember what it was. Like, but I know there's like a whole series of like movies that I have to actually watch, and I just been slacking, man. Just been too busy doing all this, keeping busy.
Yeah, man, this is pretty busy.
All
I
this-
hope it sounds better.
Yeah.
You know, we spent a little bit of money on that.
Spent
and,
enough for the sound up for the gig.
Yeah. If you don't, yeah, well, it can't not sound bad. I don't know. I feel like we'll get better. I kind of am flipping around these knobs a little bit sometimes,
Yeah, well,
and
if it wasn't for that,
I have no fucking idea what
if it
I'm
wasn't
doing.
for the little incident, we could have had a little bit more of a good segment going on for the game
Oh, yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, see that camera. Funny story.
Yeah.
Before you got here, I put it on the charger and it went up green, but I'm pretty sure that battery's broken.
Only has like 5 minutes of charge. It was
Yeah,
about like 5-10 minutes.
I
Actually.
don't know, man. Yeah, well, whatever. It's still on now,
Live-
so
live and
that's
learn.
good. Yeah.
It's not like a lot of
Next
people
time
that see my
we'll
ass.
have fully charged batteries. Something has to happen, right?
Yeah, something gotta give. Something
Well,
gotta give.
whatever. So, ooh, what was the last thing? Oh, we were gonna talk about Sony and Microsoft teaming up for AI.
Oh yeah, that's I guess in a competition of to actually kind of keep up with Google itself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Well, because like you have the Google Stream and everything too that they're trying to implement, where it's just like it's not so much of a hard console; it's all like a stream base. So what they're gonna do is like you just buy like the controller itself. They're gonna try and remove any type of like disruption of lag, so it's not running off of Wi-Fi itself or with the controller bit. It's all gonna be just kind of ran off of Bluetooth itself to kind of contribute to like latency
Really?
or anything like that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it's not that you have to download anything; it's already pre-rendered, preloaded itself. So it's just like immediately as soon as you turn it on,
Like right off the controller?
You're right off. Well, you're gonna have like a server you have to connect onto and
Ah,
everything
okay.
too.
Like on your TV
But-
or
yeah,
something.
yeah, probably. But how is it gonna play out? You know, when someone has like a crap like
Well, because
internet
Sony already
connection
has
itself?
the PlayStation Now service,
Yeah.
right?
Well, that's
I actually almost signed up for that yesterday,
Yeah.
but then I was like, nah, I'd rather just play I'll own the game.
well, because like Xbox also has like the same type of concept as well, where they have their own streaming services where you can play all like their retro games and everything too, exactly equivalent to what PlayStation does have, and so they're figuring that the next choice of market is online streaming because they have to now compete
yeah, because it was popular
YouTube
before.
and
Yeah,
Google, yeah.
it was popular before when you remember like GameFly.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
you used to like be able to get the discs mailed to you.
Yeah.
You know that was popular, but borrowing a disc and then mailing it back, like it was cost prohibitive, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it cost a lot of money to bring a physical thing to somebody and then
Yeah.
bring it back to you, right?
Well-
but this is like it's crazy how far we've come in like 10 years. Like we can just do it online now.
Yeah.
All of it's just streamed.
Well, you got to also take in consideration too about like, the hardware limitations and everything too along with it. Like it's gonna be
Oh yeah.
like
Well, you're not going to sell consoles anymore, but if you think about it, like PlayStation's service right now costs $20 a month to stream.
Yeah.
And so in a year that would be like what, $240 ish plus tax.
Yeah.
So after 2 years, like you just buy a PlayStation, but then like the new console is going to come out.
Yeah.
Well, see, like the thing that bothers me about all these subscription and like streaming based services is like when I was a kid, and like this is strictly a 90s person thing, right? But when I was a kid, I enjoyed having physical video games, like a line of them. And like, all the Final Fantasies, I have like every Final Fantasy. I have a hard disk of it. But then now I'm kind of like in this like weird buffer zone where they're not going to make discs anymore. Even the discs that you do have, it's only like a quarter of the game.
Oh, yeah.
And then they download the rest when you get home.
Well, because like, I don't know, like I'm still kind of like that too whenever I'm going to go out and buy something physical. Like, I don't know why I can never do the downloadable bit, even though it's like a lot cheaper. I'd rather pay the additional just for the actual physical copy itself.
That's what I did yesterday.
And like this is what the console is going to be thinking for like the next like PlayStation 5 and such. They're talking about
no disk drive.
There's going to be a version, same with the Xbox, there's going to be a version of it with no disk drive. It's all going to just be kind of digital and downloadable.
Oh wow.
But that's going to be subjective too, as well as with people's like internet connection itself, like whether or not you have something decent actually run something off of it. It's the same concept as well, I guess, when you want to really look at the streaming aspect of things. If you're going to be relying on that, of course you're going to have like latency and everything too if you don't have a decent stream to broadcast whatever you're trying to download, whatever you're trying to upload.
Yeah, even PlayStation yesterday, it ran a test to see if I was. Whoa. Yeah, it ran a test yesterday to see if my internet connection was strong enough, and I have gigabit here, right? Yeah. And it took a few minutes for the test, and I'm like, "What the hell is it doing? Like, is it like scratching its head?" It's like, "Wow, we have never seen this fast speed before." My connection is pretty solid though, and it took like 5 minutes for it to check.
Look at that! Look at you living in the modern age. Shit, I'm only still like rocking like a 15, 20 like megs down.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's gorgeous. Like jealous, nothing, maybe. There's no wait for anything. You click download and it starts playing right away. It's crazy.
Well, I don't know. Like a majority of the time, like I'm not really idle. Like I'm not really home too much, I guess. I'm usually off like working or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah. The reason why we upgraded technically was because the mid-range plan that we both wanted was $75 a month, and so we were like, okay, cool. And then when they launched gigabit in the area, it was $5 more. So it was like, all right, I don't need that, but for $5, absolutely.
Okay, that's
and now we're locked in at that price, and it's good.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Cool.
Anyways, so we hit a good hour again.
Whoops.
That's all right. Some of it'll get cut out. So
gotta do a little bit of.
We're gonna do some trimming. Hopefully it sounded better. Hopefully it sounds better next week once I learn how to use this thing a little bit better. But it's good chat, Stevie.
Yeah.
How do you? By the way, how do you like the artwork?
Oh my god.
It's like the only picture I could find of you.
Well, yeah, because like I don't really have a lot of pictures unless like they're just kind of like
that picture was a picture I took of you from 2014.
Yeah,
that was the best picture I could find.
What was that? When we went to Chicago.
Yeah, that was when we went to Chicago. Yeah,
that's good. Like honestly, like I don't really do pictures. Like I'm not like a.
I'm surprised I was able to do that because like I'm not a photo editor kind of guy, and like bam, I just made that.
That's right. Cropping, rendering, all that. I just look like a fat heaping blob, but hey,
whatever.
Time is money and sex sells.
Just a little side blurb about my picture. Why I look so good is because so I actually already made that like 3 or 4 years ago. I made that picture. I actually cut it out and then took pictures of it. I was doing stop motion with it. And I have that all saved still. So I was like, oh, hey, I got a great idea of what our artwork should be. And then I had to add you into it. So, I was a little bit thinner back then. But
you could have just like added me in the back. I didn't have to be like the
but you're the big smile there, right? Like you got to be there. Plus yours is less blurry than mine.
Oh my God, yeah. There's like so much sass in that picture. I can't.
Oh, yeah.
It's like when you first showed me it, like I just lost it. I was like, damn. This better sell.
So I actually photoshopped your head on from another picture just because your head was facing the same way, and like the body looked good in the one pic, but the head looked good in the other pic. Yeah. But you lost a little bit of neck.
No.
I couldn't help it, dude.
It's just like tweets.
And it all worked. It all worked. Whatever. We'll take some more pictures. We can update it.
Yeah. That's definitely a must. We must definitely do that eventually.
No, I'll take my picture, but yours is staying the same.
Maybe season 2.
You can't change it now. It's on the internet. Yeah, season 2, new pictures. Yeah.
Is that about like 100 episode in?
Maybe? Yeah. We're gonna do 100 episodes this season.
Yeah.
Shit, how many episodes? Season. We're gonna have to do daily. Like I'm looking to like we're gonna crank through this, dude.
That's right.
That's like 2 years.
We're negative $1,500 in debt for this equipment. So
seriously?
No.
Oh shit! I was like, wait, what else? What'd you bring? Well, the laptop is broken, but
this needs to be.
It needs to be perfectly 90 degrees, otherwise it freaks out.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Touch screen.
Yeah.
Whatever you get, what you pay for, I suppose. I didn't pay anything for it. So.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, yeah.
Alright.
It's been good chatting. Hopefully it isn't too difficult to edit past the battery dying.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And yeah, I'll mess up my dining room for you again next week.
Sounds
Or
quite
tomorrow.
lovely.
Shit.
Yeah, we're gonna be. Actually,
Oh no, we're not. Next week.
Wink, wink, wink.
Next
Yeah,
week.
There you go.
We'll be wearing different clothes. Alrighty. Well, yeah. Thanks. Thanks. If you made it this far, thanks for listening.
Thank you.
That's a surprise. That's surprising.
Yeah.
We talk about nonsense every week, every Tuesday.
That's right.
And
Tune in.
yeah, my name is Shane,
My name is Steven.
and thanks for watching. Oh dang, I forgot what the name was.
Jesus.
Okay, let's try that again. It's a Hotline Hangout.
Hotline.
Oh man,
Yeah, there you
I
go.
always mix
There
it
you
up.
go.
Well, it's Hangout Hotline.
Yeah.
Hangout Hotline. How can I help you? Alrighty, folks. Well, my name is Shane,
My name is Steven.
and thanks for watching. Oh, I guess you could listen to it too. Yeah, thanks for watching and/or listening to
Yeah, we're on YouTube.
Hotline Hangout.
We're also on YouTube.
Wait a second. Do it again.
We're also on YouTube.
Alrighty.
Sounds so sexy.
Peace.